Welcome to my channel. Alright, so imagine this. You're scrolling through car news, thinking compact SUVs are starting to feel a little same, and then this drops. The 2026 Mazda CX-20. Yep, Mazda finally pulled the curtain back, and honestly, this one feels like a quiet warning shot to sedans everywhere. At first glance, this thing doesn't scream for attention, but it pulls you in. The design has that clean, confident Mazda vibe, but there's something different this time. The lines feel softer and more sculpted, almost like Mazda took a weekend trip through northern Italy and came back inspired. The front end is sleek and low, with slim headlights that look sharp without being aggressive. From the side, it's compact, but not tiny, more athletic than cute. It feels like the kind of SUV you'd want parked outside a cafe, but also wouldn't hesitate to take on a road trip. Compared to older models like the CX-3 or even the CX-30, the CX-20 feels more grown up. Those earlier cars were fun, but this one looks more confident in its skin. Mazda didn't just shrink a bigger SUV, they actually designed something that feels purpose-built for city life with a bit of adventure sprinkled in. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where things get really interesting. Mazda is leaning into a hybrid setup here, and it makes a lot of sense. The CX-20 isn't trying to be a race car, it's about smooth, quiet power that fits everyday driving. Around town, it feels light and responsive, and when you're cruising, everything just feels calm and refined. This is the kind of hybrid that doesn't ask you to change how you drive. You just get better fuel savings and a more relaxed ride without thinking about it. And here's the thing, this is exactly why sedans should be nervous. The CX-20 gives you that higher seating position, easier entry, and extra flexibility, but without the bulky feel that used to come with SUVs. If you've ever thought, I like sedans, but I want something more practical, this car feels like it's aimed directly at you. What surprised a lot of people is that Mazda didn't forget about light off-road capability. No, this isn't a hardcore trail monster, but it's more capable than you'd expect. A bit more ground clearance, smart traction systems, and a solid planted feel mean gravel roads, snowy mornings, or a weekend getaway won't be a problem. It's the kind of confidence you appreciate when the road suddenly turns rough and you don't have to slow down and panic. Step inside, and honestly, this might be one of the nicest interiors in its size range. Mazda has been quietly killing it with interior design lately, and the CX-20 continues that trend. Everything feels clean and intentional. The dashboard is simple, the screens aren't overwhelming, and the controls are exactly where you expect them to be. No learning curve, no frustration. The materials feel a step above what you'd expect in a compact SUV. Soft-touch surfaces, tasteful trim, and an overall layout that feels more premium than flashy. It's not trying to impress you with gimmicks, it just feels good to sit in. The seats are comfortable without being overly sporty, and there's enough room in the back that passengers won't complain on longer drives. Compared to older Mazda interiors, this feels more refined. If you've sat in a previous CX-3, you'll immediately notice how much more open and modern this feels. Mazda clearly listened to feedback and polished everything. Now let's talk about money, because this is where the CX-20 could really shake things up. While exact numbers will depend on the market, Mazda is clearly aiming to keep this affordable. The idea seems to be offering hybrid efficiency, premium design, and SUV practicality without pushing into luxury car pricing. That sweet spot is where a lot of buyers live right now, especially younger drivers and people moving away from traditional sedans. And when you look at what you're getting, the value becomes pretty obvious. You're not just paying for a badge, you're getting a well-designed, efficient, versatile vehicle that feels like it belongs in 2026, not 5 years ago. So, how does it stack up against Mazda's past models? Think of the CX-20 as the bridge between where Mazda has been and where it's going. It's smaller and more nimble than the CX-5, more refined than the CX-3, and more focused than the CX-30. It feels like Mazda took everything they've learned over the years and distilled it into something that fits modern life perfectly. And honestly, that's why this launch matters. The CX-20 isn't just another compact SUV, it's a sign of where the market is headed. People want efficiency without sacrificing style. They want comfort without bulk. They want something practical that still feels fun to drive. If you're a sedan lover, this might be the car that makes you reconsider. And if you've already been thinking about a small SUV, the CX-20 just raised the bar. So yeah, first look impressions, Mazda might have a real hit on their hands. The 2026 CX-20 feels fresh, smart, and surprisingly confident, and I can't wait to see how it shakes up the compact SUV world. If this is the future of everyday cars, I'm honestly here for it.